How's it going, people? I'm Zephyros, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be focusing on the Immortal Codex Hellfire Emperor. I'll show you how I get my SSS score, and the builds that I use, and what you really need to be focusing on when it comes to the mechanics of this level. So let's get into it. Right, so when it comes to this Immortal Codex, one of the important things to remember is the builds are actually pretty straightforward. Just build them tanky. All of the heroes that you're going to be using for this, you want them to be able to ult as often as possible, right? Yes, you need to be timing when you're doing your ults, but the more frequently you can do them, the more you can control these mobs and the waves. Um, so you do want to be chucking on as much kind of sustainability as possible. So HP, defense, rage regen, attack speed. Those are the things that you really want to be building, right? All of these heroes that I use, they have increased kind of block capacity. So people like Haas and Brokir, they throw out freezes. You've got your um, Captain Reeve here, who is capable of doing in his ult. He's capable of doing massive slows in quite a big area. Garn in his ult increases his block, and Cyrus is able to come and summon two extra skeletons who basically act as an extra block, right? So let's just get into it, and I'll show you where I place everyone. Okay, so to start with, I place Brokir up here. I place Garden facing this way. I like to play Reeve here because his AoE actually affects that area as well. So if anyone is able to sneak past Cyrus, I can use this ult to actually control this area. So it's quite useful to put him here. I place Evelyn facing this way because there are times where she actually is able to catch people who sneak past Reeve here, and she's able to catch them and block them. Um, so it's really important in this codex. You want to be blocking as much as possible because these mobs actually take more damage when they're being blocked. So the more you can get those blocks in, the better. So Bastion Ring is obviously your best friend. Every single hero in here should be in Bastion Ring, right? That's a kind of a non-negotiable. As much block as you can get, Bastion Ring obviously adds that one extra block. Every single person here, every single hero here should be in Bastion Ring, all right? So the key to this Immortal Codex, right? The Hellfire Emperor. The key to it is to manage how many you're letting through. When they've got four block and you haven't got anyone else, don't be using your ultimates, right? You have to be letting only four trickle through to Cyrus. So time your ultimates accordingly. So if I know that Brokir has got four of his blocks occupied, and there's another eight coming through, I know I can let four hit Haas, but I'll need to ultimate with Brokir to juggle a couple. And then I can let four through to Avalon. I can let more through to Avalon. So here I'm not too fussed. I'm going to let four go through before I trigger Gone. Similarly, I'm going to juggle a couple here, and I don't mind some of them trickling through. Now, remember, these mobs take increased damage when they're being blocked. If they're just walking and the Hellfire Emperor regularly does damage to these guys, if they're walking and they're not being blocked, they won't take as much damage. Okay, so just remember that. So at the moment, I've got quite a few mobs who are looking like they're going to get through. So I'm just going to trigger an ult here. I'm going to freeze there just to buy a bit of time. Don't need to because Avalyn would have handled that, but I'm not going to need the ults for a while. So can you see here? Captain Reeve is slowing these guys down massively. Garn is holding here, but I don't need him to use his ult at the moment. I'm going to need to block a few here because Avalyn's already occupied. So we'll use Brokir's ult to just juggle a couple. Now I'm going to use Garn's ult to just block a few extra. I know 4 getting through is not a problem, or 6 getting through is not a problem for Cyrus because he'll be able to block that all. So no worries on that front. So yeah, that's basically the so can you see here, Avelin's actually managed to catch a couple of these blocks. But this is it. So I'm going to fast forward it just so that the you don't have to watch the whole run. But yeah, you just need to manage when you're actually doing these ults, right? So I'll catch you guys at the end of the end of the run. Right, so that's the run. So obviously we got the triple S. I actually made a couple of mistakes in that run where I let a few through and I actually lost a couple of my heroes. It's important to remember you have to also time your ults for when the Hellfire Emperor does his big wave damage and actually manages to kill some of the mobs. It damages him, but it also heals the nearest hero. So if a couple of them die, they'll pretty much fully heal up your hero again. So you need to you need to be timing your ults to get those blocks in, give your heroes time to get their heals back in as well. But obviously, still did more than enough to get that triple S. And so I'll show you the builds now. Okay. So you can see because Reaver's holding the most people at any given time when he's doing his ult, because it's such a large area, he gets healed a lot more than everybody else because they typically end up dying around him a lot more because they're being slowed by him. But let's go into the builds. So got King Haas. He's going to be in Guardian, right? He's going to have HP, defense, attack speed, HP, defense, attack speed, HP bonus, defense, HP, defense, raid regen, HP, defense, HP, sorry, raid regen, attack speed. He didn't actually have a defense on him. So could have put a bit of defense on him there to get a bit more survivability out of him. Evelyn, again, is going to be in HP bonus. She's in 2 defense bonuses. I think I didn't actually have another HP bonus. Yeah, so that's why. Oh, I had one here, so I could have actually put this on with the raid regen defense. Probably would have been better to keep give her a bit more survivability, but it's not a problem. Then you've got Broke here. I think you're going to see a pattern here. It's going to be either Tempered Will or Guardian. Okay, so if you've got Tempered Will sets, amazing. It's not a necessity, okay, so don't worry too much about it. I just happen to have good pieces, so with good raid regen, really good HP and good defense, just to give him survivability. Again, Reeve in Guardian, HP substats, defense substats, raid regen, and speed where possible, okay? And again, this one is actually in an Unshaken Will, so just to give him more HP. And that's just because I had I had an extra set, so I figured I'd put that on instead of Guardian. And Cyrus, I believe, is also in an Unshaken Will, so again, HP substats, HP, HP, HP. Right, so the builds are actually it's pretty easy. The builds, Guardian set is the kind of the more accessible one. That's the one that you should be going for. And like I said earlier, every single artifact should be. Oh wow! I didn't even have Reeve in the one hero that I put in. He should have been in a Bastion ring, right? He should have been. So my score should have been higher, right? But every other hero can't believe that the one I showed you was not in a Bastion ring. But look, Bastion ring they don't even need to be max. All right, these are just max because I have them maxed, but I don't think Haas's one is maxed. That's just for the extra stats, but it's just that one block. A base level one Bastion ring is going to have that one block, right? So don't worry too much about having them all fully leveled. You don't need it, right? But if you have them leveled, perfect, use it. But that's the trick, right? So just Bastion ring on all of them, good survivability, good raid regen, so that they can ult as much as possible, and time your ults so that you're letting enough some of them feed through so that you can get those blocks in, and then juggle where possible with your ults that juggle. So your Brokir, your Captain Reeve, your King Haas, where they put the freezers out and they put the slows and the stuns. Those are the ults you should be using at specific times. All right. So yeah, that's the comp I use. Now, who can you use in place of some of these people, right? So obviously it's only going to be defenders, right? Because you just want the maximum number of blocks. People like Edith, she's good at when she does her role and she pushes people. She does her pushback, right? If that you can use that. That's really useful. It just helps delay a little bit, right? Oleg, really good. In his ult, increases his block by one, right? So you've got your four from your base three plus your Bastion ring, and then he'll have an extra block on his ultimate. So useful. He's got that built into him. Who else can you use? Crodor, part of the fusion. Again, really good in this. So again, increases his block by two. So you've got his base three plus his plus the one from Bastion Ring plus your two. So you've got a six block there. Incredible for this codex. Who else? Isolde. I think Isolde has a yeah. So she'll periodically grant a shield. And wait a minute, where's the increase in her block? She definitely gets an increase in her block. Ah, there you go. So when she does her ult, there, me just being slow. When she does her ult, she does a plus one block, right? And every time she does it, she's actually increasing her own survivability as well. So this is really useful. Even if you're playing King Haas, you could actually play Isolde as an additional hero just for those extra blocks. So again, super useful. So you've got some pretty much more accessible heroes who you can use in place of the ones that I've used. You've got Torador, who's able to throw stuns out in his ult. Really useful. Does I'm just trying to remember if he gets an additional block as well. There you go. When the ultimate is triggered, increases block by one until the ultimate ends. So all of these heroes, all of these tanks, they're able to do they're able to increase their blocks. So there are so many. I didn't realize actually that you could get the block from this as well. So even Trusk, you can use Trusk. There are so many different heroes. So look at the number of blocks that they can get, because that's the key. That's the key. You just want to be getting the most number of blocks that you can get onto the map with heroes that you can build to have enough survivability, right? So that's the lowdown, right? So hopefully you guys have found this guide helpful. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, or if you have any other heroes who you think are better than the ones that I've used, drop a comment below, because I think it's always useful to kind of get that feedback. So I'll be putting out more videos on the other Immortal Codexes as well. So until then, I'll catch you guys soon. Stay blessed.